Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I haven't been here in a little bit. Last week was crazy for me. School started up the week before. We were in Disney World, so obviously I couldn't film then. I got engaged in Disney World, so when we got back we had some parties and stuff, and then last week first semester of college started, so I really haven't had much time. I apologize about the visuals on this video too. As I'm filming right now, it's very yellow. I'm gonna try to color correct it a little bit. Hopefully it looks a little bit better. But I'm filming at night just because this is when I have time. It's my first chance. But I skipped out of video last week. I'm hoping to put up 2 videos next week to make up for that one lost video. But with that all being said, let's get started. So back when I was at Disney, the news broke that Spider-Man might not be in the MCU anymore, and I just want to make a little video about that, give my thoughts and predictions about what's going to happen in the future and whatnot. I know I'm a little bit late on this video, but I haven't had much time, and I've actively tried to avoid watching other people's videos on this topic. So I'm a little bit late, but I haven't seen much news outside of what I've seen on Twitter that first week. So basically, for those of you who live under a rock, don't know what's going on, the Marvel and Sony agreement on Spider-Man has had come to a breaking point at this point, and as of right now, Sony's pulling Spider-Man out of the MCU, and they can't use him. The MCU can't use Spider-Man anymore, and as of right now, any other future Tom Holland Spider-Man videos are separate from the MCU and just gonna be in its own Sony universe. When the news first broke and I read about it, feel like I was like, with the majority of the people, I was like, what the heck, Sony? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Do you not like making money? What's your issue? Why are you pulling out? It's annoying, and I was just annoyed with Sony. As more of the news came out and seeing the details, I've become to understand what's going on and why Sony pulled out. For those of you who haven't seen the details about what's going on, the original money split on these Marvel Sony deal movies in the MCU was that Sony would market it and do everything and get 95% of the income that the movie made, and Disney only got 5%. But they also got money from their merchandise and sales. They own the merchandise of Spider-Man, so that's where they get their money. Plus, Spider-Man being in the MCU just helps them out. It makes more money, gives them a known player. So the deal worked for both sides, because Sony hasn't really made a good Spider-Man movie outside of Into the Spider-Verse. A great movie, but it didn't make a lot of money in the box office. Sony hasn't really made a good and profitable Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2, so the deal worked for both sides. Marvel was making a good Spider-Man movie, Sony was getting the money. It worked. The reason why this is all happening is because Disney wanted to get a little bit greedy and was like, hey, you're giving me 5%? I don't like that deal anymore. I want 50%. A split of the revenue generated from these movies. Which, when you first think about it, seems fair because Marvel's making the movies, it's in their universe. But Sony's the one doling out the money for it, so this deal gone awry is kinda on Disney's fault now at this point. I'm on Sony's side at this point. So as of right now, Sony is in the right. They are the ones who are getting screwed. So those are the details of the previous deal and what's going on. Now here's my thoughts on it. So when I first heard the news, again, I was on Disney's side. I was like, what are you doing, Sony? Until I found the details. I'm like, come on, Disney. You own the world. The extra $500 million you get from these Spider-Man movies aren't gonna affect you at all. Just suck it up and take the L on this money. Because, again, Disney owns literally everything. They don't need the extra money. They're just being greedy. But anyway, so when this news broke, my first and my still thought on how it broke was I think Disney leaked it out From what I saw, Sony responded on their Twitter saying, hey, basically Disney decided to pull out Spider-Man out of the MCU. And they're upset about the decision, but they understood it. But from what I understand, I don't think that was the first initial breaking news. I think it was just reported that Spider-Man was getting removed. So my original thought was Disney leaked this, and I still think they leaked the original news to make public outcry and be like, hey, Sony, people are mad at you now because you're pulling Spidey out of the MCU. Which makes sense for a negotiating strategy, but now that people are seeing the details, I feel like it's backfiring a little bit on Disney because people are seeing the details and that Disney just wants more money. So I feel like that was the original I feel like that was the original negotiating strategy that Disney had planned, was to bring the public in and see their outrage at why Spidey was being pulled. But then now that more details that came out, I feel like that's a little bit backfiring. My ultimate thought on it though is I don't think that Spider-Man will remain outside of the MCU. I think that they will reach a deal. I don't think it's good for either side of it to have Spider-Man removed from the MCU. I think Far From Home has set up plans for the future of this character, and it's going to be very strange to remove this character from this universe. And I feel like both sides just need to get this deal done. It's beneficial for both sides. For Marvel, they have this universe set up, and Spider-Man was essentially gonna take over the Iron Man role. I know, like, Far From Home was kind of like, hey, he's his own character. He's not Iron Man, but he's kind of replacing Iron Man. That was basically what Far From Home was about. So they set him up to be such a big character in the future and take over the big lead role, basically. So it doesn't help. So for Marvel, it's not good for them to have this deal fall through. And for Sony, who's only had 2.5 good Spider-Man movies on their, 6 attempts, they need this deal too, because they're not good at making Spider-Man movies, honestly. So we need this deal to work out. Marvel needs this deal to work out. I think this deal is gonna work out eventually, because there's too much to lose if they don't work it out. Yes, Sony will make more Spider-Man movies outside the MCU. They'll make their money, but they're not gonna make as much money as if Marvel made the movies and they're the MCU, and Marvel set up this character to be an important part of their future. It's just gonna be weird and unexplainable to have him just removed, because he was in the Avenger movies. There's no way to remove him from the canon. Like, if he wasn't in Endgame and Infinity War, I could see them saying, oh, those two, Spider-Man, Far From Home, and Homecoming, weren't actually in the MCU. We're just gonna remove those. But they can't, because he was in the big team of movies, so he's part of this universe. He's affected it. You can just pluck him out and call it a day. So my final thoughts is that they'll eventually work it out, because it's best for both sides. So anyway, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I haven't been able to post, but I hope to get 2 videos out next week for you guys to make up for it. Thank you for watching this little janky video. Again, I'm sorry if the visuals are a little off. It's very yellow right now. I hope to pull that with color correction via editing, but it's at night, so I just have my normal apartment lights on right now. So again, I'm sorry, bear with me. I'm still working through it.